The poison of attachment. It is 3:17 a.m. The city outside is silent, but your body is exhausted, sinking into the mattress, begging for rest. But you are not asleep. Your eyes are open, staring at the ceiling, and the noise in your head won't stop. You feel them pulling away. The distance is growing, the texts are getting shorter, the energy is shifting. And in your chest, a quiet, terrifying panic begins to rise. You try to force a resolution. You send another message. You try to fix it, to control it, to hold on just a little tighter. But your desperate grip is exactly what pushes them further away. This is core wisdom. And today, we're going deeper. If you've ever felt this way, you're in the right place. Subscribe. We build the fortress together. What you are feeling right now is not love. It is the poison of attachment. And until you learn to identify it, you will continue to destroy the very things you are terrified of losing. Look closer. You think you are fighting for a connection. You think this desperation is a sign of how deeply you care. But you already knew that. The real question is, why? Why does the thought of their absence feel like a physical threat to your survival? Because it is not about them. It is about you. This is a trauma response. A desperate attempt to freeze a river because you are terrified of the ocean. Western culture romanticizes this. We are told to fight for what we love, to hold on tightly, to never give up. We are fed a lie that obsession is devotion. But this isn't devotion. This is control. This is the fear of abandonment wearing the mask of affection. The ancients had a word for this, but it wasn't a Western word. The cure was written centuries ago, not in Rome, but in the East. Imagine holding a handful of dry sand. If you leave your hand open, relaxed, the sand rests in your palm effortlessly. It is yours to hold. But the moment you become afraid of losing it, the moment you clench your fist tightly to secure it, the sand slips through your fingers. The tighter your grip, the faster you lose it. This is what you are doing to your relationships. This is what you are doing to your opportunities. This is what you are doing to your own peace of mind. 2,000 years ago, someone understood this perfectly. The Buddhist framework does not view this as a mystical concept. It views it as practical psychology. They called it clinging, Upadana, the root cause of all human suffering. It is the desperate attempt to make impermanent things permanent. To take a flowing river and try to turn it into a block of ice. You suffer not because the river is flowing. You suffer because you are trying to stop it. You cannot own another human being. You cannot own an outcome. You cannot own a feeling. Every time you try, you create a prison. And the irony is, you are the one locking the door from the inside. But here is what nobody tells you about the prison. The bars are not made of iron. They are made of your own illusions. You think that if you hold on tightly enough, you can protect what you have. But attachment does not protect. Attachment suffocates. It is a psychological parasite that feeds on your insecurities and disguises itself as loyalty. Think about how you behave when the panic sets in. The constant checking of the phone. The overanalyzing of every word they said or didn't say. The desperate attempt to read their mind, to anticipate their moves, to manipulate the environment so they won't leave. You have turned a connection into a hostage situation, and you are playing both the hostage and the negotiator. Love appreciates the flower. Attachment rips it from the ground, puts it in a vase, and watches it slowly die, just to possess it. Love says, I want you to be happy. Attachment says, I want you to make me happy. See the difference. One is a gift. The other is a covert contract. Decades ago, deep in a forest monastery in Southeast Asia, a Buddhist master sat with his students. The air was thick with humidity. On the wooden table beside him rested a beautiful, heavy glass. He picked it up, held it to the light, and looked at his students. You see this glass? He asked. I love this glass. It holds my water beautifully. It catches the sunlight perfectly. It rings when I tap it. But to me, this glass is already broken. Let that sink in. Because I understand its nature, the master continued. Its nature is impermanence. One day, the wind will knock it over. One day, my elbow will brush it off the table. One day, it will shatter on the floor. And because I know that its destruction is inevitable, I can enjoy it completely right now. And when it finally breaks, my only response will be, of course. He does not suffer because he never tried to make it permanent. He never tried to defy reality. This is the psychological framework you are missing. You are looking at your relationships, your career, your youth, your carefully planned future, and you are demanding that the glass never breaks. You are demanding that the river stops flowing. You are trying to negotiate with the fundamental law of the universe. And reality does not negotiate. When you fight impermanence, you generate anxiety. That anxiety turns into a desperate need for control. And that control destroys the very thing you are trying to save. Why do you cling so tightly? Be honest with yourself. It is not because you love them so much. It is because you are using them to avoid facing the void within yourself. You have made another human being responsible for your emotional survival. You have taken your own inner peace, placed it in their hands, and demanded that they carry it for you. No wonder they are pulling away. The weight of your unresolved pain is too heavy for anyone else to carry. When someone becomes your sole source of validation, their mood dictates your reality. If they are warm, you are safe. If they are cold, you are in danger. You have handed over the keys to your own mind. You have abdicated your throne. You are no longer the sovereign of your own life. You are a beggar waiting for a crumb of reassurance. This is not a modern problem. It is an ancient one. And the ancients knew that the only way to cure this poison is to administer a very specific antidote. The Western mind hears the word detachment and misunderstands it entirely. We think of a cold, empty room. We think it means not caring. We think it means building a wall of iron around our hearts, pushing everyone away, and becoming an unfeeling machine. But that is not what the Eastern masters taught. That is not what the Stoics practiced. Pushing people away is just another form of clinging. It is clinging to safety. It is clinging to avoidance. It is the ego protecting itself from potential pain by choosing numbness. Apathy is not mastery. Apathy is cowardice. True non-attachment is the open palm. Look back at your hand holding the sand. The fist is clenched so tightly your knuckles are white. Your arm is trembling from the effort. You are exhausted. Now imagine opening your hand. The sand still rests there. You can feel its texture. You can appreciate its weight, but you do not squeeze it. You allow the wind to blow. You allow the sand to shift. You do not own it. You are simply experiencing it for as long as it remains in your palm. This is how you must approach the people in your life. This is how you must approach your desires. You must love them deeply, engage with them fully, but simultaneously accept that they do not belong to you. They are on loan from the universe, and the universe can call in its debts at any time. When you finally accept this, something incredible happens. The anxiety evaporates. The panic stops. Because you are no longer terrified of the glass breaking. You are simply grateful for the water it holds today. But understanding this intellectually is not enough. You have to practice it. You have to step onto the battlefield of your own mind and start dismantling the traps you have built. The shift happens here. You must stop trying to manipulate reality to soothe your anxiety. You must stop making covert contracts with the universe. Your ego tells you that control equals safety. But your ego is a liar. Control does not equal safety. Control is a state of perpetual exhaustion. Think of the energy you have wasted trying to manage the emotions of other people. The exhausting mental calculus of trying to be exactly what they need, just so they won't abandon you. You have been running on a treadmill of hypervigilance and calling it love. It is time to step off. From this moment on, you practice the art of letting them go. Not out of anger, not out of bitterness, not by building a wall of isolation, but out of a profound respect for the natural order of things. You allow people the freedom to choose you or to walk away. And you realize that your core, your inner fortress, remains untouched either way. When the panic rises, when you feel the distance growing, you do not tighten your grip. You use the ancient mechanism of inversion. Are they pulling away? Good. You are being given the space to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. Did the text go unanswered? Good. You just learned that your peace of mind does not require an external notification. Did the relationship end? Good. The glass has broken. You are no longer burdened by the exhausting task of trying to keep it intact. You are free. Are you terrified of being alone? Good. Now you can finally meet the person you have been running from your entire life. Yourself. Attachment tells you that if you lose them, you lose everything. But what exactly are you losing? Look closely. You are losing an illusion. You are losing a prison cell. You are losing the heavy chains of expectation. When you operate from a place of true non-attachment, you become incredibly powerful. People can feel the shift. The needy, grasping energy disappears. You become unshakable. You are warm, you are loving, You are present, but you are fundamentally untethered. You say to the world, I appreciate you, I value you, but I do not need you to survive. There is no greater relief than realizing you do not have to control the universe. You do not have to force the puzzle pieces together. You can just let the sand sit in your open palm. Let the wind blow. Let the people who want to leave, leave. Let the people who want to stay, stay. So tonight, when it is 3:17 a.m., and the city is silent, and that familiar, terrifying panic begins to rise in your chest, when you reach for the phone to send one more desperate message, trying to force a connection that is slipping away, stop. Look at your hand. You are clenching a fist around dry sand. Take a deep breath, and slowly, deliberately open your hand. Put the phone down. Let the distance exist. Let the river flow. You are not losing them. You are finding yourself. Sleep well. The war is over.